everyone. Again, we're going through presentations, but at this point, it is probably more important that you kind of work your way towards getting exposed more to Camtasia. What I'm going to do in this segment is provide you either through D2L or through the YouTube core shell. Either of those areas, you'll find the video that will be demonstrated in this Camtasia Studio project that I have. And at this point, we're interested in learning more about the track tools that would be useful for manipulating your video and more or less track editing. One of the first components that we can discuss is going to be the playhead. With the playhead, you'll notice that you have a green and a red bar. These two boxes, the green and the red box, signify your start and end point of the playhead. Now right now they aren't doing anything. Why? Because they're actually attached to the playhead. However, if I were to left click, let's say on the red box there, if I were to right click on that, I can drag that over and you'll notice that it starts to highlight a region below. So I've just selected a time sequence by moving the red box over to the right, and I can move the green box over to the left a little bit in order to further increase that selection range. Essentially, the green represents your start point, that is your in. The red represents your out point, that is when this segment will more or less end. So if I were to make a small selection just for preview purposes and this play it back, as you simply go to the route, you'll notice that it just plays that small segment. It doesn't play the whole entire video, just whatever I selected. Now there's a couple of tricks with this. Since I have this area selected, I could do a couple of things. One is, you notice I have a cut tool within my tool selection or quick tool icons above my track. If I were to click cut, notice how it immediately cuts that selection that I pulled out. And you can see a little split that's occurred here. So all that material is gone, so it's probably going to have a really odd cut between that.
To access my browser of your choice.
So obviously I probably don't want that as a real edit. So let me undo that. And I clicked Control-Z to undo that selection. So let's actually get a pertinent selection. Sometime around 51 seconds or so, or close to it. It looks like I'm, where am I at? I can tell I'm at 47:14. So around that time, I've already told individuals to log in with their account information. And it's okay to have the typing of whatever that account might be. And in this case, the password, which isn't really an authentic password, it's just something I made up. And then it appears as if I go straight into my selection. Now, of course, there's a little bit of time where I'm not talking, so let me go ahead and remove that selection from my actual video. So I'm going to repeat this process. I'm going to start at a point where I see pretty much no audio, and I'm going to move my red box, which signifies that there's nothing, that's the end point, and I make that small selection. Now I could choose cut, which later I could possibly paste this segment somewhere else, or if I just don't want this segment at all, then I could hit delete on the keyboard, and that will delete whatever is within that selection frame. Double click the playhead to bring back my start and end point, and I'll be able to see that I have an apparent gap. Now at this point, you'll notice that in the tracks, there's one blue segment and the rest of them are grayed out. Whenever we see that a track is blue, that means that it is selected, that I can add some type of manipulation to it. I'll go more in detail into what what you can do with that in future videos. Just know that color is a significant factor in determining what items are selected. In this case, when it's blue, it is selected. We'll see that we can actually move the items that are in our tracks around. So if I wanted to, I can move the individual tracks to the left or to the right, up or down, any direction I would like to go. And in some cases, you'll notice that there's an alignment bar that appears, this yellow bar. That yellow bar signifies a point, which means that it's actually going to clip to your selection. And we'll have a better understanding of what exactly happened there simply by clicking on View and then Timeline Snapping. So this is a timeline snap effect. Essentially, anytime that you left click and drag your track, any of these tracks around, it'll have a yellow bar if you have timeline snapping enabled, which again you can find in View and Timeline Snapping, and then Clip Edges. So let me uncheck Clip Edges. So go to View, Timeline Snapping. I see Clip Edges is no longer checked. And if I were to move this around, notice it does not automatically tell me whether or not it's clipped to the other track ahead of it. So it's up to you whether or not you'd like to keep it. Sometimes having that snap effect, the clip edges in this case, may not be the best thing to have. As you notice, it definitely snaps, this bottom clip definitely snaps to the end of the clip above, but is not actually within the same time frame. So it's going to be out of sync. Luckily, track 1 in my case, not always, but in this particular scenario, I can actually completely remove track 1 without having any major effect because I had no system audio. So I'm going to stop at this point, but there's definitely more content to cover.